It was a tale of two halves, and usually our kids are second half players. So the first half they kind of, just checking them out kind of thing, and then we started to make some adjustments and really go after them. Instead of playing a little bit scared, we started to attack, and that is what won it for us.
Well, I know you like to watch lots of tape. From an offensive standpoint, you had 18 points in the opening half, but 24 in the third quarter alone. I'm sure when you'll be watching some tape there, you'll have completely different analysis of what happened in that third quarter as opposed to the first two. Like you said, you moved the ball around. But, sometimes you need that one player to do something special. And I think Alicia Nichols scoring all the points she did in that third quarter, she had 10 of the 24, kind of helped out the other players. And it seemed that everybody flowed offensively because you had 6 players in the scoring column in that third quarter alone.
It comes in spurts, it seems like. They all of a sudden decide, well, that's enough of this, and we're just going to take over right now. And I know that runs through Alicia's head. She's tired of waiting for somebody to do something, so she's going to take the ball and roll with it, and then gets the other players involved because they start collapsing on her. So she does a great job with that. And, I got to credit all of the kids, whether they played a lot of minutes, whether they played a few minutes, whether they sat the bench and screamed for their teammates the whole time and talked on defense and on offense. It was a complete team win, and I've been waiting years for this.
Well, and you certainly got it tonight, 60-56 over Yuma. Now, Morgan Spencer has been a dominant player for Yuma, not only this year but last year, and you really controlled her in the first half, but she got going in the second half. Was it just more difficult to defend her, or do you think that she did a better job of establishing position and thus getting really way too many easy shots, as probably you would agree on that standpoint?
Well, I thought their guards got a little bit more penetration in the second half than I would like, which caused our post players to come up and help, which they're taught to, and then that left Morgan open to get those easy buckets. And her size, we just, we don't have anybody her size necessarily that can move people out of the way like she does. And she doesn't even mean to half the time, I don't think, but it just happens.
And Yuma, you figure, it's got to be a heck of a measuring stick because you're looking at a Yuma team, and we had talked about this during the pregame. They beat Platte Valley, which your team did, but they also beat Strasburg and Eaton, 2 teams that defeated Brush. So Yuma was obviously a very good measuring stick, thus making it that much more important to beat them tonight.
Yeah, and he's got a couple older kids than I do, too. This youth thing just keeps kind of picking up and picking up and picking up. I was joking with Ron, actually, before the game, and he was talking about how his kids had shoot-around this morning and they were driving there, and I said, well, at least you have more than 3 that can drive, and he kind of looked at me and started laughing. So, Ron's a good guy, and he's got his kids. He scouted us the other night, and honestly, that's the first time I've been scouted as a head coach, so that was interesting, and Valley was in the house as well, so it'll be interesting to see what they do. But this was a great win, and when we go down there, it's going to be even tougher.
Yeah, it's amazing that by the end of the game, I could actually say from this vantage point that it was a quality basketball game because the second half really was just so much better to watch than the first half. When you have a game like that, is it more fun, or I don't know what the word is, but from a coaching standpoint, how does it affect you when you're watching a sloppy game versus a higher quality game, which is what we saw in the first half versus the second half?
Well, I think both teams were so tight in the first half because they want it so bad. This is a huge rival for us. We always play. It doesn't even matter who I have for kids. We always play Yuma just like this. The score is always very close, and it's always going to come down to the wire, and it's kind of up in the air as to who's going to win until someone decides. And tonight, that was us.
So a couple of final things. How about this? 5-4 after 9 games. Well, how do you soak this all in? I know there's still 10 games left in the regular season, but 5-4 after 9 wins. We're not talking 0-9 or 1-8 like we were the past couple of years. 5-4. This team is more than legit.
These girls have worked so hard in practice, and I can't compliment them enough. I am so proud. There aren't any words for the pride that I'm feeling right now. My heart's about ready to swell out of my chest, and they want it. That's another difference, too, is they're not going to let just somebody come in and beat us. They're going to do the little things, and they're going to work, and they're going to be like sponges and pick up new things, and they're going to keep on learning as we go.
Okay, Jen, you've won 3 of your last 4 games. The next challenge, I believe, is Friday night against Roosevelt, and that'll be right here. You've defended the home court very well, but talk about Roosevelt and what challenges are going to be presented there. Are they more than likely a team like we've seen tonight, or many of these other Patriot League teams will challenge you and maybe take it down to the wire?
Well, I'm kind of hoping that we're skimming under the radar. I don't know if that's really happening with them.
Didn't happen with Yuma,
No. I knew they were in the house. Ron came down and talked to me, but I'm kind of hoping that we're skimming under the radar since they've beaten us so bad in the last 2 years, and that they're not going to be prepared for us. They're a tough team right now. They're number 1 in our league. Eaton is number 2. We're sitting number 3. So, and with this win, we're going to keep our number 3, with Yuma kind of below us there.
And a big win, and I'm sure it's going to be an even bigger challenge when you have to travel later this season to Yuma and play them.
Yeah,
and
but we all love playing in that pit. That loud gym, that's a great place to play in.
But isn't that another hurdle that you'll be looking at the second time around when you play these teams to see how your team responds, because now you're going to be responding off of victory versus in past years you were responding off a loss.
Right. We're trying to get that first win, and you know, these kids they're diehards, man. They just go, and there's no quit in them. I mean, we fouled more than any other team that I've ever had, but they just keep going.
Yeah, was there some concern there? I wanted to ask you this question now. Aaron Berg and Christine Dreitz in foul trouble fairly early in that second half, and it seemed, you know, if it wasn't for Alicia Nichols, especially in that third quarter, you know, you might have struggled there, especially scoring all the points you did.
Well, you should have seen. Alicia actually asked if she could take number 50. And then she got moved out of the way one time, and her eyes got real big. And after that, then I just said, are you going to let her do that, or are you going to get after it? And she didn't get the ball very much after that. So Alicia did a great job stepping up, and Aaron and Christine did a good job of maintaining their position and not really. Christine fouled out with, 35 seconds left? Something like that. And she did a great job maintaining for almost 6 minutes of the fourth quarter with 4 fouls, and Aaron did a great job staying in there completely in the fourth quarter.